Welcome back, everyone, to week 15 of the Wild West.
Here we go. It's your Buckeye Believin', Who Dey Hopeful, Captain Chris with a K.
It's Travis.
And this is your host, Carlos. We are here in the house, week 15. So we got the Swift Kicks World Cup Special Edition. We also have the Hangry Polar Caps, the DDK Fantasy Football Lineup. We have Driz and Los Players of the Week. And our favorite show, Who's Hot?
Who's not?
All right, let's go ahead and take a quick pause and thank our following sponsors.
Razor Cut Information would like to thank you, Ernie Relas, at State Farm, located at 11330 East Central, Wichita, Kansas. Please visit Ernie to talk about your home, auto, life insurance needs. As they say, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Thank you, Ernie.
All right. Thank goodness we have our people back on the stage. Erica wanted to clarify it's week 14. Not 15. So I'll take the L for that. All right, so let's go ahead and quick dive into the Swift Kicks World Cup edition. A lot of upsets, a lot of shockers. It was heard throughout the world. So let's go ahead and break down I don't know how they call it. In basketball, we call it the Elite Eight, right? Mm-hmm. College, I don't know how they say it in the World Cup. But here, let's just break it down. We've got the Netherlands going against Argentina. We have the World Cup champions, France, going against England. Ooh. And we have the second World Cup finals runner-up of Croatia going against Brazil. And then the surprising team of the moment, Morocco, going against Portugal. In these breakdowns, Chris, who are you taking?
I think I'm going to go with England. Yeah, I like England. I think they're gonna pull it out. They got some all-stars on there, and I think that they've been itching for once.
I'm also going to go England here just because, yeah, it's England.
This guy. I'm going to go ahead. For the surprise, I'm going to take Argentina over the Netherlands. I think Argentina is, it seems like this Messi riding off to the, to get a World Cup to capitalize his career and his legacy. They're giving it all in, and this is a great team. After that loss they had against Saudi Arabia, I think they opened up and they said, hey, it's time. But on the other side, you have Brazil, who is their neighboring country, and they're looking to want to capitalize to add what they already have is their country 5 World Cups.
Right.
And
been there.
So now they're like, hey, add a 6. And also Argentina has 2, France has 2, and that is pretty much it. Everyone else has been kind of irrelevant, except the Netherlands. They have gone to the World Cup 3 times. Croatia has gone to the final once, and Portugal and Morocco has not been there. So this is kind of and England has won. So
they looked really good against the U.S. The Netherlands did. That was a big offensive output from a pretty quiet team. So.
Indeed. Well, stay tuned, you guys. We'll break it down to the final 4. Let's go ahead and take a quick pause and thank our following sponsors.
Hey guys, have you ever seen those little towns in Kansas and wondered, what's there? Let me tell you about a hidden gem in Salina, Sky Trampoline. It is the perfect place for both family outings and spending the day with friends. They have large open trampoline jump court, a ninja course, a setup to test or develop your parkour skills, and that's not even close to everything. Additional fun can be had in their foam pit, dodgeball area, a laser maze, and even an arcade. They also have specialty events with black light lit trampolines and a DJ. Sky Trampoline is located at 1820 South 9th Street in Salina, Kansas, and is open every day until at least 9 most days and sometimes even later. Give Sarah a call at 785-491-1118.
All right, it's getting cold already, and it's December, so you know it is. It's that time, that Hangry Polar Caps. Right now, the NHL we have in the Eastern Conference. In the Atlantic Division, we have the Boston Bruins is in first right now, following the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Tampa Bay Lightning. On over to the Metro Division, we have the New Jersey Devils, following up the Carolina Hurricanes and the New York Islanders. Now, moving on over to the Western Conference in the Central, we have the Dallas Stars in first so far, the Winnipeg Jets in second, and the Minnesota Wild in third. Following over to the Pacific, there we have the Las Vegas Golden Knights, the Seattle Kraken, and the Los Angeles Kings. Stay tuned, you guys. We will also do our local hockey teams as well. So since we're in the Midwest and we're in Wichita, we follow the Wichita Thunder. But if you guys want us to follow up on your teams as well, just like and subscribe, and also tune in. Let us know what you think. We'll go ahead and take a quick pause and thank our following sponsors.
Well, I don't know about you folks, but here at Sportsfellas, things can get, well, a nice right funk going on sometimes. And in that time of need, we turn to our friend Kimberly Sampson, our own personal Cincy independent consultant. She is our favorite star consultant, so for your scent needs, get a hold of Kimberly at heavenlyscentswithkim@gmail.com or visit her website, heavenlyscentswithkim.cincy.us. You can also call her at 316-282-7363. That's Kimberly Sampson at Cincy, our favorite independent consultant.
All right, so we are now in week 14. I almost said 15 again. Woo. All right, so we're going to kick it off with the Thursday night game. We have the Los Angeles Rams, the Super Bowl champs, going against the Las Vegas Raiders. Travis, who are you taking?
I'm going to take the Raiders here. Josh Jacobs, back-to-back weeks of having a great week. Derek Carr has been lighting it up recently. Rams just signed Baker Mayfield, but I don't think he'll be playing this week just because he just got signed yesterday. But yeah, I'm going to go with the Raiders.
Me as well. I mean, the Rams, and it's really more about how bad the Rams have been looking lately, especially backup quarterback. Again, they're trying to find a solution there. I know they signed Mayfield. I think they picked up someone else to get in there. I think Josh Johnson. I think they pulled off the Broncos practice squad, maybe, just to tell you how bad he might be. So they're in just a tough sort. I mean, they're gonna fight. They're pros. They're gonna, every guy there is fighting for his own personal paycheck. So, but I think the Raiders are gonna pull this one out. So I'm going Raiders.
Indeed, and right now, for all the Raider fans, there is hope. There is hope, you guys. You guys are not mathematically out of the playoffs. It's just you're just sitting there watching your rivals in the Chargers, seeing them slip, or maybe perhaps the Jets, or if Miami goes into shambles. This is it. All they have to do, they control their own destiny. All they got to do is capitalize on these wins, and it starts off here. Now they still have a date with Kansas City, but in the meantime, they're in back-to-back wins, and this is the time now to shine. I think, especially defensively, they're going to get after the quarterback of the Rams. The Rams don't have no weapons. They're depleted, and they're at home. So this would be a good way to kick off. Moving on over, we have an AFC East showdown with the Jets. Jets. And they're going against the Buffalo Bills. Chris, who are you taking?
Man, this one's going to be interesting. The Jets beat them earlier this year in kind of a really big upset. But the Jets look really good with Mike White throwing. And they came really close to upsetting the Vikings last week in an away game. But I think that the Bills still have a little bit too much in the tank. I think that they're still obviously fighting for that trip to the Super Bowl. So I'm going to go Bills at home. They're going to win this one.
I'm also going to go with the Bills. Von Miller did go on the IR today. But I still think the Bills are going to take this one. Josh Allen, he just got the first seed for the AFC, so I think he's going to take that momentum and carry them so where they can secure the playoffs in Buffalo and not Kansas City.
It is so unfortunate that Von Miller going to the IR. Is he projected to come back, or he's done for the year?
I'm not 100% sure. I think he's done for the year. I think it was a torn ACL.
Oh, that's another injury he's had. The thing is he will be missed, but I do agree what Oliver said on the defense. It's the next man up. Mm-hmm. They are look prone to be ready to go into the playoffs and make a run, especially like you said, Travis, having that number one seed. I'm going to take Buffalo. Next up, we have Chris's team.
Hey, who they?
All right, we got the Cincinnati Bengals going against the Cleveland Browns. Who you taking, Chris?
Well, I got to go for my Bengals always, so I'm going to pick the Bengals. And although they I think are the better team, Cleveland's kind of had their number the last few meetings. Actually, Joe Burrow's completely defeated. He's never beat Cleveland. One of those games was a throwaway game, so not to necessarily count that. But this still feels kind of like a trap game. I mean, we're coming off 3 really big weeks after a Steelers week, which is always heck, and then a couple of big playoff contending teams in Tennessee and Kansas City. So this is a really almost a trap game. It does scare me a little bit, but I'm going to stick with and it's at home for the Bengals, so the hometown team wins the Bengals.
I'm also going to go with the Bengals here. I feel like Joe Burrow is going to take that. He's going to win it. He's not going to let him beat him twice this year. So, yeah, I'm going to go Bengals.
I'm going to take the Bengals as well. It's pretty simple. Right now, Cleveland, they were promising at the beginning, but then just a lot of inconsistencies, and especially with Deshaun Watson kind of getting back into it. He's got to get in unison.
Bad.
He's got to get in unison again. I mean, the guy hasn't played in, 700-something games? 700 days, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Two plus years.
It's been a while, and the thing is that Cincinnati is peaking at the right time, and hey, it's like deja vu from last year, and they're on that rendezvous moment to go into the Super Bowl if they get that far. But in the meantime, we'll take Cincinnati. Next up, we have the Battle of Texas here. We got the lame Houston Texans going against the Dallas Cowboys. Who are you taking, Travis?
I'm going to take them boys, Dallas. Houston, they're going to take Davis Mills as their starter this week. I still don't think that he's going to do anything once again. So, yeah, I'm going to go Dallas. I think it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, I hope that also, my kids, when they're playing their games, if one of the teams gets up by too much, they put a running clock on. I hope for the Texans' sake they do that, because this is going to be just nasty. I doubt that Dak finishes the game simply for, just to protect him, because it's such a blowout. So, yeah, I think the Cowboys are going to just roll this week.
This is so unfortunate. I mean, because the thing is, Houston, Lovie Smith, I don't know what's going on. I mean, like what I'm going to reiterate what you said previously, Chris. They're going for their paychecks now. It's kind of like, hey, I might see you this year. I might not see you next year. And thing is Houston has to start over. They're going to have to go into the draft, and if they're going to have faith in Lovie Smith to build up that program again, they're going to really have to start scrapping up. I mean, you still got Pierce, great running back, but he needs more pieces. They need more lines.
They got some parts, but yeah.
And then start young again. I mean, why not? But right now, it's Dallas's momentum going. Let's move on over to the NFC North showdown here. We've got the Minnesota Vikings going against the Detroit Lions. Chris, who are you taking?
The Detroit's looked really good, but so is Minnesota. This is tough. Division game, so everyone's going to be fighting as hard as they can. I think I'm going to go with the upset. I'm going to go with the Lions. I feel like they're kind of rolling. I know. They're fighting hard, and they look good, man. When Amon Ross Saint whatever Brown, how many names does he have? There, he gets going. He's a beast, and so I'm going to go the Lions. I'm going to go with the home team.
I'm going to take Minnesota here. I feel like they're just going to use this as momentum going into the playoffs with an extra win. Hawkinson, he's coming back to Detroit for a revenge game, I would say. But yeah, I'm going to go Minnesota here.
This has been tough. Here's the reason why. I mean, Detroit, like Chris said again, they're doing a great job. I mean, Coach Campbell's doing a great job getting everybody fired up. They are playing with heart. In that game again, that Thanksgiving game against Buffalo, they had Buffalo on the ropes. And for some reason, they're not a push-down team. They will keep fighting. And then when Swift went down, Jamal Williams stepped up, and he's been doing it. Defensively, I like that rookie. That guy is, what's his name, Chris? The rookie,
Aiden Hutchinson.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Get some more defense on him.
Dude,
it's going to get that much better. And now that we're at this point, the thing is Minnesota has more to gain than Detroit. Detroit we don't see them going into the playoffs, but I mean, anything can happen. But the thing is, Minnesota is right where they need to be. They're a 10-2 team. They don't look like a 10-2 team, but there's no pressure really in the sense of if they take a loss, they'll drop to 3, the 3rd seed.
No, I think they're still
because
Dallas.
Second. Well, don't Dallas
will be the 5th seed because it's
they're
divisional. Get 1 through 4.
Oh yes, I forgot. So it would be. So technically, right now
2.
it's Philly that's in 1st, Minnesota's in 2nd. Am I right?
Right.
Yeah.
And 3rd would be who's winning? Is Seattle still winning?
Seattle.
No, it's Niners.
Niners are winning the West.
Niners, then Bucks.
Okay.
Bucks,
all right. Well,
Bucks, whoever wins the NFC South is going to be 4.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
we can promise that.
I'll take Minnesota just to keep it safe there. Next up, we have a AFC Divisional South showdown. We have the Jacksonville Jaguars against the Tennessee Titans. Travis, who you taking?
I'm going to take the Titans here. They did have a good game against the Eagles, I believe. I feel like they'll move on, and I feel like they'll take the Jags on.
I don't know if they have. They lost 35-10 to.
Oh, never
Eagles.
mind. I thought it was a whole lot closer.
Travis take an L for that.
They came
I will.
out. They came out really, really good, and then Treylon Burks got hurt. He got
That's what it was.
concussed, and I don't know if he's questionable, still in protocols or not. It's still pretty early in the week. If he comes back, I think that they are going to have a really easy chance with the Jaguars. If he doesn't, I think that they're going to struggle a little bit with the Jags. The Jags are still a decent, they're a decent team. They're, obviously they have a losing record. They're a lower team, but they're still a team that can beat them. But I think the Titans have more than enough to pull it out with Derrick Henry in this. And so I'm going to go with the Titans.
Yeah, that kind of sucks. They lost their general manager, and the thing is they when you're passing barriers, you got to go to the next step up. It's up. It's not just stay mediocre. You got to start making changes. And right now, Tennessee, if they want to stay relevant going into the playoffs and bring back that magic that they had last year, they're gonna have to start doing what they're doing best. They're known for a run team, and also with Ryan Tannehill, he's got to get these other guys involved as well, and the defense has to step up as well. So right now, it's in their favor. I mean, they own Jacksonville pretty much, so this shouldn't be not a big problem, but they're at home, so I'm going to go ahead and give the edge to Tennessee. Moving on over to another divisional round here in the AFC North, we have the Baltimore Ravens going against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Who are you taking?
I am going to go with. I think the Steelers are in a really good spot right now. They're kind of since the loss to Cincinnati. I want to make sure that that's reminded that happened just a few weeks ago. They've been on a bit of a roll since then. Granted, playing maybe not the upper echelons and the Colts and the Falcons, but hey, you win the games that are put in front of you. That's all you can do. So they're on a bit of a streak, and of course the Ravens, big news. They lost the Lamar Jackson for hopefully not too long for their sake. Amount of time, but at least for this week for sure he's out, and I do not see Huntley being able to handle the defense that the defense for the Steelers is what really won them that game last week. I think really the last couple weeks. Pickett's done enough, but he hasn't definitely not winning the games. So I think it's going to be a similar scenario. He's going to do enough, and the Steelers defense is going to pull out that win.
Yeah, I'm also going to go with the Steelers here. With Lamar Jackson out, this is going to be a Pittsburgh defense showing. Alex Highsmith and T.J. Watt are probably going to be the big issue for Huntley. And, I just see Pittsburgh winning this one.
This is what happens when you rely a lot on your quarterback. And it's like you take out the quarterback and it's a wrap. They look lost. And the thing is that Pittsburgh is right now on a streak. I'm still haven't bought in their quarterback yet, but it just needs more repetition, more help. And right now they're starting at the right time. So I'm going to go take Pittsburgh on this one. Now moving on over to another AFC West showdown. We have the Kansas City Chiefs going against the lousy Denver Broncos. Travis, who are you taking?
I'm going to take Kansas City here. Mahomes, he's been on fire recently. Lost to the Bengals. Close game, but I feel like Kansas City's going to take this one.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a closer game than probably what the betting circles are showing. I'm guessing that line is in a 7+ area. But I think it's going to be closer than that. I think it's going to be a 3-point game or so. It is a divisional game. Broncos play hard against the Chiefs. It's in Denver. So I think they're going to fight pretty hard. But I think overall, I think the Chiefs are going to pull it out for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. What can I say? Russ can't get out of the pocket. We're losing people left and right. Our owners are just disgusted. You can just tell they just can't wait to start taking the reins. I feel that if Nathaniel Hackett can't start getting some wins in, we're going to see him out the door, and new ownership is going to start cleaning house. So I'm going to go ahead and give this to Mahomes. There's no way you can bet against Kansas City, not on this caliber. So I'll go ahead and take Kansas City. All right, on to greener pastures here. All right, next up, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going against the San Francisco 49ers. Chris, who's taking?
Buccaneers and 49ers. I feel like this might be a playoff game here this year if both of them do what they're supposed to. I'm going to go 49ers, though. I know Garoppolo's hurt, but, man, aside from that minute and a half or 3 minutes of the fourth quarter, the Bucs just looked horrible, and I think the Niners defense is quite a bit stronger. than the Saints are, and will put a hurt on more of Brady than what happened there. So I'm going to go with the 49ers. Probably a lower scoring affair, but 49ers take it.
Yeah, I'm also going to take the Niners here. Tampa Bay, their O-line has just been not too well with all the injuries they've been suffering. Their rookie linemen haven't been performing to their best. They have Nick Bosa and Eric Armstead to go against, so I'm going to take San Fran here.
It's going to be a heyday. You got a Tampa Bay line that is getting penalized for holding calls. I mean, your left tackle sucks, your right tackle sucks as well. And the thing is fortunate enough that when they were stopping Lenny, they threw in White in there, and White was able to give them the game-winning touchdown. Thing is, Tom Brady is getting too old, and the thing is like he needs other players to step up. Evans has been a little bit quiet. Godwin had a great game, but this is not the Super Bowl team that we remember. And let's just face it, it's time to kind of just move on. And right now, I think Tom Brady is starting to see his career coming to a close, so he's just going to give it his best. I still think Tampa Bay will win the division, but this could be a playoff preview. But I'm going to give this to San Francisco. Next up, we have the Carolina Panthers against the Seattle Seahawks. Travis, who are you taking?
I'm going to take the Seahawks here. Kenneth Walker might be out this week, might not be. He's questionable right now at the moment, but we'll see later on this week. But I still think that Seattle will win this game. Seattle's passing game has been amazing the last couple of weeks. Geno Smith's been connecting with Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf a lot recently, so I'm going to take Seattle here.
Yeah, I really like the chemistry that's really blossomed here since midseason, and I mean it's been going all season, but really kicked off here lately. I'm going to go with Seahawks as well. I mean the Panthers are just, I mean they're a shell of the team right now. You know, they're not as bad as Houston necessarily, but you don't know what you're going to get week in and week out with them. And I think they're starting Darnold again. Obviously, they got rid of Mayfield. He's gone. So who knows exactly what's going on there. So I'm going to go with Seahawks.
I'm going to go ahead and take Seahawks as well. They're just a better team. Not much to say. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the Sunday night flexed out game. We have Travis's team, the Bolts.
Yes, sir.
The Chargers going against Miami Dolphins. Who are you taking, Chris?
I'm going to take, sorry, Travis, I'm going to take the Dolphins. I'm not going to let recency bias creep in on me about how the Dolphins fared against the Niners. Mike McDaniels was going against his mentor, Kyle Shanahan, who he's been following around like a little puppy for the last 15 or so years. So, yeah, he got snake bit by the guy that taught him everything. Not surprising that happened. And they were cross country, and it's tough defense, and, you know, he wasn't quite ready for those things. But I think that they're going to get everything back together and be playing like the Dolphins we're used to seeing. And so I've got them taking the Chargers.
I got my Chargers winning. I got to. They're Miami. They're going to have to rely on the run game. Tua hurt his ankle last week, so I feel like he's not going to be forcing that ball as much. I feel like he's going to try and get the ball out quick so where he's not getting hit. Herbert, on the other hand, God, I hope the O-line can hold this week. Getting sacked 5 times last week. I mean, you can't win games when you're getting sacked that many times each week. So I'm going to take my Chargers, though.
This is a real tricky game. I mean, because I want to go for the Chargers so bad. It's just that with the injuries that they've had, and the thing is maybe it's one of those things. Maybe next year, if they just stay healthy, they'll make a run. But it's just that right now with Miami has that coach-friendly thing going on where the players are really stoked with their coach, and he's just down to earth type of guy, and it's kind of funny when they record him. But thing is that's all set aside now. Now it's about, okay, you guys, we didn't bring Tyreek Hill for nothing. We didn't get this thing going for nothing, and we got the weapons that we need to make a push in the playoffs. So I have to take Miami in this game. We have the Monday night game. We have the New England Patriots going to Arizona to visit the Cardinals. Travis, who are you taking?
I'm going to take the Patriots on this one. They're on a 2-game losing streak, I believe. But I feel like Belichick is going to bounce back this week against the Cardinals, who have been a little up, down all year long, I would say. So I'm going to take the Patriots here.
I'm going to go Patriots as well. The Cardinals, they haven't put much together here lately. They'll look good at times. There's just not a lot of consistency, and consistency is what you're looking for in a football team. This might be Cliff Kingsbury's last hurrah, so who knows what's going to happen. But I think on Monday, I think the Patriots, Bill Belichick's going to have them ready to go, and they're going to do just enough to get another win because that's what they do.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go ahead and take the Patriots as well. I mean, Bill Belichick is not fooled by these kind of quarterbacks. He's not fooled by the system of things. And, he's won a Super Bowl in Arizona. I don't know how many, but I think one. I remember one and lost one. But eventually what's going to happen is that Arizona has to – right now there's going to be a lot of questions in the offseason. One of the top things is, okay, we paid you, Kyle Murray, a lot of money. You lost to Kansas City in that first game, didn't look good, and then there's been games where, and then you're arguing with the coach, and then you're butting heads with some of your players. There's going to be a lot of questions coming on in the offseason, but for now, I think New England will go ahead and take care of them. Let's go ahead and move on over to the game of the week. It's brought to you by Nessa Tires. We have an NFC East showdown. We have the Philadelphia Eagles going against the G-Men of the New York Giants. Where's your ticket?
Well, I think I'm going to have to go with the Eagles on this one. And one name simply sticks out for me, and that's A.J. Brown. That dude is uncoverable. He makes Jalen Hurts look like an all-pro. And, maybe Jalen Hurts is, but I think a lot of it has to do with what A.J. Brown does when he's thrown to. There was those did you see him run over the guy? Oh, that was he looked like he'd been hit by a brick truck. So I'm going Eagles. Giants, they're a happy story this year, but I just don't think they have quite enough to keep up with the Eagles.
Yeah, I'm also going to go with the Eagles here. They've been phenomenal this year in offense. A.J. Brown, like you said, Miles Sanders run game, and then Jalen Hurts can even run that ball well too. Both Jalen Hurts and Miles Sanders, I believe, have 10 touchdowns this year, 9 or 10, something like that. But, they've just been unstoppable on offense, so I'm going to take the Eagles.
You hear that? Do you hear that? I hear an eagle coming. You hear that cry? Oh, he's coming. He is coming. Here's the deal. A.J. Brown, Miles Sanders, and then Jalen Hurts. You got the perfect chemistry. This is the elite dangerous team going into the playoffs. And right now they're projected to go, there's Super Bowl contention that these guys go to the Super Bowl. They have the recipe for success here, especially acquiring A.J. Brown from the Titans. That has helped. That has boosted their receiving core. And the thing is they still have a date with the Dallas Cowboys here on, I think it's Christmas Eve, I believe. So we got to stay tuned to that. But in the meantime, they're going to have to take care of the Giants. The Giants, not bad. I hope they get into the playoffs just to say they made it. But they're not going to do much. They still don't have enough weaponry to go in. All right, well, that concludes Week 14 of the games. Let's go ahead and take a quick pause and thank our following sponsors. We got the DDK Fantasy Football lineup. Chris, who do we need to add on this week's Fantasy Football lineup?
I am going to say you need to add pretty much any wide receiver from the Minnesota Lions game. I think both those teams allow a lot of points to receivers. We've seen we've seen Detroit put up tons of points. So Amon-Ra, St. Brown, get him out there. Obviously Jefferson, any of the, I think Hawkinson, any of the receivers from any of those two teams. And I think someone, I don't know if you want to set, but you may want to move him to a flex position or something. But Stephon Diggs, I'm not sure how much they're going to be throwing. The Jets are a really good defense, and they play really, really good against the wide receivers.
This week, I got to start any of the Dallas Cowboys running backs, Zeke or Pollard. They're playing against the 32nd defense for run game, the Texans. I feel like they're going to have big games. And then someone to sit is Travis Etienne against the Titans. They're 7th ranked for defense for running back, so I got him sitting.
I would start Dalvin Cook for the Minnesota Vikings. I think he's starting to find his stride now, and this is going against the Lions that is not that good. They're not good defensively. They rely a lot on the offense to kind of get them in the game, but it's just that, especially with Minnesota coming in, there's just so many targets that Kirk has. So the weaponry that he has at his disposal is going to give the Lions a hard time. If I would go ahead and sit down a player, I would watch out for Saquon Barkley. Now, yes, he's going to still get his reps in here and there, but the Philadelphia Eagles knows how to play against their divisional rival. So there's gonna be a mix-up, especially trying to disrupt Daniel Jones. So I would be on the lookout there. All right, you guys, that concludes the DDK. Let's go ahead and move on over to the Driz and Lowe's Players of the Week. Chris, who do you nominate?
Oh, man, I love saying these names. Joe Burrow, Mr. Joe Shiesty himself. He was 25 of 31, 80.6 completion percentage, a couple of touchdowns, no interceptions, and a big win against a playoff-level team in the Chiefs, and finished with 126.6 passer rating to go along with 46 yards rushing and a rushing TD. So that puts 3 TDs for under his name of that game. So, yeah, I got Joe Burrow.
And what about the defense, Chris?
Oh, defensive. I'm going to go Chandler Jones. He was kind of a wrecking ball. Finally had a breakout game for Vegas there. He had 2 or 3 sacks?
3 sacks.
3 sacks, yeah. Bunch of tackles for losses, pass breakups. So
I also got to say I got Joe Burrow on offense, beating the Chiefs, not having any errors on a close game. I feel like that's something you got to give it to. And then defensively, I got Chandler Jones, 3 sacks, played well against the Chargers O-line. I mean, you just got to give it to him.
I'm going to give it to Joe Burrow as well. I mean, the guy's 3-0 against Patrick Mahomes. I mean, that is something that's quite outstanding. And the thing is his demeanor. He's just so cool. He's a cool cat. You know, like the song Queen. And he's a cool cat. How you hate on Joe Burrow? I mean, the guy rocks it. I mean, he's just, I don't know. He's just so cool. What can I say? Now, on the defense, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't know who precisely I want to take there. I'm going to give them the Eagles as a unit because the way they put Derrick Henry in check, he couldn't do much. And so that was just great as well. So, yeah, we pretty much wrapped it up on the offense. So we have Joe Burrow pretty much did a great job. And then on the defense, we're going to go ahead and pick
Chandler Jones.
Okay, that works for me. Congratulations, you guys. You guys are the Driz and Lowe's Players of the Week. All right, let's go ahead and take a quick pause and thank our following sponsors.
Hey, guys, why don't you check out She Barber Cuts Barbershop and give Markeisha Brown, the licensed professional barber there, a call at 316-218-3566 for all your haircut needs. She's got cuts for kids, adults, and for those looking for the good one, the deluxe with beard trims, wash, and hot towels. So don't forget to give Markeisha a call at She Barber Cuts and see her at 2319 North Ridge, Barber Suite 6A here in Wichita, Kansas.
All right, guys, it's our favorite show. It's Who's Hot
and Who's Not.
This is brought to you by Sinistry by Kim. Travis, I'm going to kick this off with you. Who's hot?
I'm going to go with the Bengals here. They've been on a roll the last 2 weeks. Beat the Chiefs, beat the Titans. I got them for who's hot.
I'm going with, I appreciate that. I do think they're pretty hot myself. I'm going with the Cowboys, though. I don't want to pick my own team. I feel guilty doing that. So I'm going to go with the Cowboys. I mean, 54 points this last week is just crazy. And they've been putting bunches of numbers up all year for the most part. So I'm going to go with the Cowboys.
Right now, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I'm going to say the Raiders right now. Ooh. They found a little, ever since Derek Carr was crying and watching a couple reruns of The Young and the Restless, he kind of got into his feelings. He searched really deep in his feelings, and I think one of the things is that the essence of Al Davis went over there, slapped him with his 3 Super Bowl rings and told him, hey, bring me back to promise, the commitment to excellence. That's what we're known for. And so right now he's on that verge opportunity to maybe get the Raiders into a wild card spot. Now let's move on over to the who's not. Chris, who's not hot?
I am going to go with who is not is the Saints. You know, they a few weeks ago they were kind of poised to really take a run at that division, and they have just I don't know, wet the bed on it, just crap themselves. They've gone down the last few weeks. And then all of a sudden they had a chance to get it back into it on Monday night. And bam, 2 minutes to go, let Tom Brady reverse age 15 years and throw 2 touchdowns in the last 2 minutes to win the game. That's just, yeah, poor Saints, man. They're not.
I'm going to go with the Bears here. They just haven't been hot at all recently. I mean, Justin Fields can only do so much for himself, but not much else is being produced by that team besides him, so I'm going to go with the Bears.
This is a tough decision. I'm trying to choose either between the Colts and the Broncos. You know what? I've been picking on Denver for quite a while. I'm going to go ahead and take the Colts. You picked up Matt Ryan. That experiment failed. You went into Dallas. Dallas demoralized you in the third and fourth, especially the fourth quarter. That's just ridiculous. I mean, I'd be embarrassed right now. Shout out to all my Colt fans. You know who you are, Kyle, Gracie, Cole. Much love here, but you guys know.
Admit it.
We need you to kind of look in the mirror. I mean, look very close in the mirror when you put on that hat and you see that horseshoe and you're like, we need to get dinged by this horseshoe because we're getting stomped. It's ridiculous. So I'm going to take the Colts. Now, Denver doesn't fall behind either, but I think we've already picked them up. We picked on them long enough. Well, you guys, that concludes the Wild West Week 14. Please stay tuned. We will also keep going on the Swift Kicks World Cup edition. We'll still keep breaking down our shows as well. We will have a Sportsfellas show this weekend, so stay tuned on that. We'll kind of break down on things that are going around the league, any hot news coming out the press. And also, you guys, follow us. We have on our platforms. We have TikTok. We have the Apple Podcast, YouTube, and Spotify. Before we leave, any shout-outs, Chris?
Oh, just thanks to all the guys doing all the hard work behind the scenes. Eric and Dre. I don't know his other name.
This guy.
All you guys doing the hard work. We really appreciate it.
I'll give you guys a shout out, and then I'll give a shout out to my buddy Avery. Big Saints fan. Sad that you guys aren't winning, but shout out.
Yeah, I want to give a quick shout out to, of course, always a thank you to our staff behind the scenes. You know, I appreciate what you guys do, taking the time, making this show grow and continue. Shout out to my good friends that tune into our show. Sean John from Nebraska. I always pick on him because he's a Cornhusker fan, but I appreciate him tuning into our show. It's much appreciated, my friend. And also, shout out to all our friends that are tuning into the show as well. Mm-hmm. I don't want it to be a long list, but each individual one of you guys that have tuned in, thank you so much for making this happen. Also, a special dedication. Shout out to our boy Tay, big Saints fan. I'm going to put it out there, but he's making some life changes, and hopefully it goes the way it is. I don't want to put his business out there, you know what I'm saying? Sure. But let's just say that, you know, we wish you the best on that. And also, we're getting tuned into the holiday break, so hopefully everybody is focusing on tuning in, especially the young kids at school. Mm-hmm. Stay at it for the upcoming graduating class.
And catch up on RCI when you're on break.
Oh, yeah, indeed, indeed. And also, like I said, get ready. We're going to have our Anime Insomniac come out as well. So if there's a show you guys want to follow, hey, like and subscribe on there. Tell us what show you want us to follow, and we'll make it happen. Other than that, we'll look forward to hearing from you guys in the next episode. We're out.